Alright, here's how you do a coolant flush on a Buick Century. Mine's a 2000, 3.1. So grab your 19mm socket and a ratchet. And don't bother jacking your car up because you don't need to. It's honestly easier. That way you're not, if you got it up on ramps, you gotta reach up and it kind of makes it harder. If you can put it on a lift, I mean, go ahead, but you don't really need to. What you're gonna do is crack the pitcock valve, which is on the bottom right hand side of the radiator. So you're gonna come down here, put your blanket down, get your pan. As you see, I've already done it, but you're gonna locate the second plastic flap. This guy right here. And you're gonna go right here on the left hand side. And you see that plastic nut right there? It's actually a wing nut. So you can use your hands. It's easy if you just get a socket. You're gonna crack that and loosen it up pretty good. Do not take it all the way off because the coolant will go blasting everywhere, but crack it pretty good. See how far I got it out? And the coolant will flow down this hole right there. So that's where you're gonna wanna aim your pan, your catch for. Then once it's flushed pretty good, you can open up the radiator neck and make sure everything's out. And you can even remove your coolant reservoir and dump this out. You just take this nut off, and unclip this right here. Pull the whole guy out, dump it out as well. And once you've done that, what you can do is run a hose in here to flush water out and just flush the system out. You can take undo the hoses as you do that, but I kind of just start out, put it in here, let it go through the pitcock valve very slowly, and then eventually I'll pop the hoses off. It's not really necessary to take the hoses off. Honestly, just get some water in there, let it come out to the bottom of the radiator, you should be fine. I'm not doing that because I did that not long ago. I'm actually just changing out my coolant to the GM orange because that's what I bought, and I don't want to mix the two because that's the yellow. Anyways, once you've done that, you want to fill it back up. You'll get your new coolant and you'll start filling it through the radiator neck right here. And then what I do is I grab this hose and I burp it, and then I let it sit. I fill the radiator back up to the neck, burp it, let it sit. And once it's full and it's not going down anymore and I've waited a couple minutes, I'll fill the reservoir up to the cool level. Then I'll start the car and I'll let it get hot, let it idle for a while, and then bleed it through the bleeder nut right here. Be careful not to take this all the way off while the car is running because it will shoot coolant out everywhere. If you manage to do that by accident, just shut the car off because it'll stop the pump and it won't blast up. You're not going to be able to get this on there while coolant is squirting up out of there. When you crack the bleeder nut, you'll see a little hole right beneath the kind of the shoulder of it. There's a hole right there. That's where you want to crack it to, so you can see that hole and you'll maybe hear some air come out or a little steam. And once the steam's come out, maybe a little coolant will start coming out, then you usually know that you're good. So that's a quick way to do a Buick Century coolant flush.